Welcome to Action Coaching. We're certainly delighted that you join us on today because we believe that God has a special coaching word for you. I certainly want to encourage all of you to make sure you reach out to others and let them know that Action Coaching is on the air. You're watching us on YouTube, hit subscribe, become a part of the Action Coaching family. And of course, if it's on Facebook, hit likes. So let us know that you definitely enjoy the Action Coaching that come into your home each and every week. Truly, we believe that God is going to bless you through these coaching tips. Now in these segments, we don't have time to get in depth on every one of the coaching tips. So that's where you have to reach out to us and let us know, well, I enjoyed you talking on that last week, but I want you to get a little more in depth on this particular part. And if enough of you do it, then we'll just spend a whole Action Coaching talking about that one thing. I believe that coaching is important in life. Whether you want to call it a coach, a mentor, or just a person that advises you, none of us make it by ourselves. All of us need not only the wisdom and guidance at times of those who have went this way before us. Now I want to assure you, maybe the situation that you're operating in may be a different time and they do a different way, but the principles still remain the same. What do I mean by that? They can do different things to defy gravity. You got people that went to the moon, they can fly real fast now, and seemingly for a time they defied gravity, but gravity still is the same because gravity says what goes up must come down, so gravity is a fixed law. But however, there are ways that you can take advantage and exercise your ability in a fixed law. So we're excited about this time of coaching on this week. Now, a lot of times when it comes to doing anything, I have learned in life that sometimes we can give people a little instructions on things, but we basically don't spend enough time on preparing the mind. Now, the mind is the most powerful thing that we as human beings possess. The Bible even says, so as a man thinketh, so is he. But thinking goes on in the mind. And a lot of times people try to do things without thinking, without preparing mentally to do whatever task they got to do. Because if you're going to be great at anything, the first thing you're going to have to be is strong mentally. Why do I say strong mentally? Because it's going to take a whole lot of work, a whole lot of blood, sweat, and tears to accomplish some things in life. And if you're not strong mentally, chances are you'll give up before you ever get started. You can hear a lot of people say things, well, I want to lose 50 pounds, or I want to be this way, or I want to be a millionaire, or I want to be a billionaire. Nothing is wrong with that, but the mental side, they have not prepared to handle. A lot of times, we look at the mind as the undiscovered country because so many of us use very little of our mind. And that's why we don't accomplish many things. So mental preparation is necessary because without it, it'll greatly hinder your success. You ever notice that when you start school as a child, maybe they'll give you the numbers in a simple way that you can handle it as a child. But then as you begin to grow older, they'll make those numbers more complex. And even the older you grow or the more you move up in school, everything has a certain degree of difficulty in order for you to achieve different things, in order to bring other things out of your mind. But if you ain't mentally prepared to start with numbers from the beginning or any such thing, chances are you're not going to be very good later on. I found this out, that just saying you want to achieve something and not being mentally prepared to handle what it takes to get to that level, you're not going to make it. When you hear a lot of successful people talk and they're asked the key to their success, one of the first things you're going to hear most of them mention, even in their talk, well, you know, I had to get strong in my mind. I had to mentally prepare myself for the journey that it was going to take. Or I had to be ready mentally to spend as many hours on the basketball court, or in the gym, or running, or in the music studio, or whatever it was. I had to be mentally prepared for that first, because if you're not mentally prepared, chances are when you have to work long hours, all kind of things come in your mind. And you say, well, I don't need to work on it this hard. I don't need to spend this long on it. I'm tired of it right now, and I'm just going to stop and I'll pick it up tomorrow. How many of you have made that famous quote when you get ready to do something that's going to require you to be mentally prepared? You can say, well, I know I'm going to work out. Then you wake up the next morning and say, well, I won't start today. I'll start tomorrow. And then tomorrow, I'll start it the next day. And then chances are a whole week went by and you haven't done a thing because mentally, you were not prepared to do what it takes. Your body only responds to mental commands. You're only going to be as good as you are inside of your head. If you want to achieve good things, it's going to take serious mental preparation, because sometimes the task that you have at hand is not just physical, but it can be mental too. You got to be prepared. You say you want to be great, are you prepared to work 12 hours a day with no sleep and keep at it every single day? That starts with the mind. So the most important thing that when I coach people or ran into people, you know, a lot of people say, well, just give me the mic, I can do that. And I be saying, it ain't about that. It's about being mentally prepared to present at an excellent level. And that's going to start up here. Years ago, when I was playing basketball in high school, that our coach at that time invited another coach to come in and speak to us. And so this coach that he brought in was a professional coach. He was coaching one of the pro teams, and some kind of way they were friends, but anyway, he came into the room to talk to us at one of the banquets. Now all of us sitting in there, we were waiting for him to give us some tips on how to shoot better, how to dribble better, or how to go to a higher level in basketball. And we were all sitting there listening for that. And he opened his speech and he said, I want all of you young men to understand that this game is played from the shoulders up. We're sitting there dumbfounded by, how can basketball be played from the shoulders up? Man, you shoot the ball through the hoop, you dribble down the court, you guard somebody, you do this and that. But here he's saying it's being played from the shoulders up. And he began to talk about no matter how much talent you have, there are other people that got the same level of talent too, that sometimes even have the same ability or even greater. But the one that comes out on the top is the one that's mentally prepared at another level. That understand that there are things in life, just you being physically equipped won't get you through, or you cannot overcome. Because you got to have the mental first. You got to understand that being mentally prepared is what gonna lead to your success. People will say, well, I want to have a lot of money. But trust me, If you're not mentally prepared to handle money at that level, you'll probably use it and lose it in a day. You probably won't achieve anything because simply you are not mentally prepared. How many people have you seen in life have been given things early, but they were just mentally unprepared to handle it? So how do we go about the process of strengthening our mind, making sure our mind is functioning at its highest level so that it can push the body to places that the body have no way of knowing unless the mind is mentally prepared? You can look at people and say, how did they do this? How did they do that? They were mentally prepared to push forward and do these things. And that's what it's all about. It starts upstairs and it works its way down through the rest of your God-given ability. Now, how do we get ourselves mentally prepared? Now, I'm going to give you a couple of points on how you do that, but you got to understand, you can succeed mentally, you got to be prepared, because there are things that are going to come against you when you're doing anything, that your mind is going to have to be working at its highest level in order for you to win at life. You hear people all the time say, I was mentally prepared. Now, I don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you. That you have to be mentally prepared, and I want to just give you some tips on how to be mentally prepared. Now, number one, that will help you be mentally prepared: study the rules of whatever you're endeavoring to do. Say your person said, well, I'm gonna work out, I want to get stronger, or I want to lose weight, or I want my body to be able to function at a high level. Well, you first got to learn what it's going to take for you to have that. You can't just say, I'm going out and running around and then that's going to be enough, or I'm not going to do this and that. Mentally, you got to know the rules that are prepared. Say if I wanted to say I want to lose 25 pounds or 50 pounds or whatever, then obvious, mentally, I got to understand I can't eat the same thing that put the 50 pounds on me. I got to be mentally prepared as to whether I can give that up. Or I know if I intend to do this, I'm going to have to give that up. I'm going to have to know the rules of the game, and that starts mentally. You want to be whatever you want to be, multi-millionaire, billionaire. Well, there's certain rules that go along with that. And you got to be mentally prepared. You got to study. You got to do research. You got to learn what you need to get in your mind before you are prepared to do that. People want things, and mentally, they are not prepared. Years ago, I had some preachers come to me and they wanted to preach, they wanted to pastor, they wanted to do all that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But as we began talking, they didn't even know the Bible they were going to preach. Now, how in the world are you going to be successful preaching? You don't even know the Bible. You don't even know what you need to know to present to the people. You just want to get up there with something that come off the top of your head and hope that it works. Well, I got news for you. You, the people that hope that it works, are never successful. Only those that are mentally prepared and understand mentally what they need to prepare themselves for, what they need to do to themselves to be in a position to function at a higher level. Just because you're seeing somebody up there preaching and you think you can just imitate that and be successful, or just because you see somebody playing sports and you just think I can get out there and do that. No, when you don't know the rules of the game, you're going to be out of it very, very quick. And such as is in life. You can't be successful when you don't spend any time to learn the things required for you to do and achieve what you want to achieve. So you got to spend some time. You got to spend some time. Now let me say this too about getting mentally prepared. You ain't going to hit it just right the first time. Some people think, well, I ain't going to do nothing until I become excellent. Well, I got news for you. The only way you become excellent is doing it over and over and over time and failing a whole lot of times. But every failure you learn something, and it helps you mentally understand what you need to do to be excellent. Excellent is a moving target. Excellent does not sit still. Excellence says you just doing this much more better than you did the last time. You think of all the inventions in the world that we have, from the phone to cars to whatever. Why is it that they're always updating the different controls or operation of these things? Because they understand that through trial and error, they mentally learn more how to make something better, how to make it operate more efficiently. You know, but that comes from time and study. They got a whole department of people that just studying that all day as to how to make it a better product and getting more mentally prepared. And usually the people that are mentally prepared, they make the most money. And a lot of times you might be hindering yourself from enjoying a different type of life because you don't want to become mentally prepared. And that's why you need someone to coach you, to say to you, well, first of all, we got to get your mind right first. You got to understand the certain rules of the game. I wouldn't want to get on no airplane and some guy could be on the airplane and he be sitting up there in the pilot's chair and he don't have any pilot's license. And he said, well, I'm just in this chair. I don't know how to operate it yet. But as we get to going down the runway, I'm going to figure it out. No, they may go down the runway and he may be trying to figure it out, but I'm going to be standing in the terminal because I want to make sure that mentally he is prepared to handle any type of incident we may have while flying in the air so that we can be safe. That's what life is all about. That's why so many people miss it, because they just want to do it and they don't want to learn. They want to have it quick and not get mentally prepared for it. And it just does not work that way. So you got to do some research. You got to do some study. You got to look at some examples so that you can learn from them. And so when it's time for you to apply them mentally, you already have a platform to operate on. Second thing I want to talk about being mentally prepared is you got to do it like a routine. Every single day, every single minute. That's got to be a part of your routine. You can't just learn all you learn at one time. There are many more things that you're going to run into that you're going to have to increase your mental capabilities. When I first got into ministry, I never knew the things that I was going to have to learn along the way that I had to go get mentally prepared for. Yes, I knew the scripture. Yes, I knew something about the Bible, but I didn't understand that there are other things I needed to know about the Bible. How to apply it to different situations. How to apply it to different people. I could just come preach the same sermon to everybody and expect it to work. They may not want to hear that. So I had to get mentally prepared in order to function. I want to encourage you in this year. You can't learn everything in a flash. You know, some of you can get a quote on Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media, and think you can do it right now. I'm here to tell you, you may can quote it, but if you try to do it and you ain't mentally prepared, it ain't gonna happen. But you got to train the mind. It is your most valuable asset, because the ability to think and to learn and to do will help you dominate in life. I know that there's a lot of people that don't want to take time to learn anything. They just want to go do it. I know how it is. Just want to get to it in a hurry. Sometimes you got to slow down and get mentally prepared. And more mentally prepared you are, the more things you can discover that you do. Isn't it an amazing thing that now we have phones? That's pretty much we carry our life in the phone. But there's a lot of things on the phone. A lot of us don't even know how to do. We ain't spent that time mentally to learn about it. We just learn about what we need. And then we can run into a situation and we don't know how to do that. Somebody has to come along. Well, there's an app on the phone to do that. Well, how long that app been there? Forever. But it's just that you didn't research it. You didn't see what the app do. And so you were mentally unprepared to make it work. So I want to encourage you. This is the time to work on our mind, to get mentally prepared to climb to the levels that we want to climb to. When you see somebody that are doing it at a high level, chances are they spend as much time learning how to do it before you ever saw them do it. When you see people that are successful, here's the sad part of it in life sometimes. We want the success. We love the success. But we probably need to put the story behind the success in front first. Tell of the struggles, the adversity, the hard knocks they had to go through, the things they had to sit there and learn before they were successful. And it probably will help a whole lot of people be mentally prepared to conquer and achieve great things. The Bible talks a lot about the strength of the mind. It said things that if you believe it mentally, if you can see it mentally, you can achieve it. If your mind can imagine that, you can do it. It all talks about the mind. It talks about the power of meditating in the mind, how great things can be done if you are prepared. And certainly I want you to know it all begins with the mind. I don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you. Welcome back to Action Coaching. I certainly want to challenge those of you to sit down and sow a generous seed faith offering for the support of Action Coaching. There are a lot of people in this world that need coaching, they need mentoring, they need to hear tips on how to better develop in their life, and that's what Action Coaching is all about. And certainly I want to encourage you to sit down and sow a generous seed faith offering for the support of Action Coaching, because it is our desire to do bigger and better things here on Action Coaching and to reach so many people with what we're talking about. So I want to let you know there's a link in my bio that'll give you a host of ways to sow unto Action Coaching. Every seed is important, whether you sow 100, sow 50, 25, 500, all of that goes to making Action Coaching even better and help us to continue to coach so many other people. And I know that the Lord is going to richly bless you as a result of the seeds you've sown on today. And once again, there's a link in my bio that will give you a host of ways to sow unto the ministry. Do it today. Do it now. And trust me, God will richly bless you. Now, before I leave you, I got my bracelet on. I know probably all of my members got theirs now. This is our year of possibilities. This is what God spoke to us. That whenever faith is applied, possibilities can happen. And so this is our year of possibilities, and I just keep mine on all of the time because this is my year of possibilities. And I certainly thank God for all of you moving with us in the year of possibilities. And also I'm excited about there's some upcoming previews and talk, and they're going to do further talking about it. I've written a new book, The Making of the Apostle, and we're surrounding some amazing things about that. So I want you to make sure you tune in so that you can hear all about that. That book is awesome. It's about my experience with one of the most important men of God of the 21st century, and it will be a blessing to you. Well, the Lord bless you. I've certainly enjoyed talking to you on today. And as I do each and every week, I want to encourage you, share the word with a friend and keep the word in action.